Hey everyone, let me turn down the music and find my mouse. A little bit lower. How y'all doing? I'm not sure if anyone's here yet, but I'm here, and that's good because that's all it is and all it's needed to start off and have fun. Um, Welcome. Thank you for coming by and enjoying another night of Builder's Block right here on the Transverse Network. Um, if anyone is here, I think you know the drill. For anyone who is at least a returner, to please comment, if you will, in the chat if you can hear me okay. If the sound is coming across okay, if you hear the music too much, too little, you hear my AC, all that jazz. After like 4 or 5 streams where the sound was wildly off for the first few minutes, I definitely want to make sure that I'm actually coming across successfully and correctly. So if anyone's out there, please let me know if you can hear me, and we'll get going. While I wait to hear if I can be heard, I will have a sip. Mm. Hey, I think someone might have popped in, and welcome. I was just wanting to check if I'm coming across okay, if you can hear me okay, and if the music is okay or too loud or too quiet. So please let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay, and that would be very helpful. And I'd be much appreciated of that. Okay, well, if anyone can say that, that would be wonderful. In the meantime, I will just get going. So this is Builder's Block. It is one of many amazing shows on this channel, on the Transverse Network and Twitch channel, which we have to offer. All of our shows have lots of different things, lots of different subjects and different facets of life and fun things that we get to share. But one common factor is that, generally speaking, the people who are making it all happen to be trans, and that's something that we get a chance to talk about and share with here. In some cases, while we do some things entirely. So while we have talk shows and news shows, this show is all about sharing some of our creative, fun passions, about building some things, and getting to share that and share that off with you, and hear about your passions too, and just create some fun things, have a good time together, building and creating. We have a couple other people who contribute that rotates through a different person each week. And so we have people building very cool mechs and model kits like Mimi. We have Emily doing custom Star Wars droids. We have someone new, relatively new, Kathy, who appears in here and as another Lego builder like me. And I love Legos, as you can kind of see from what's behind me here. I'm a big fan of building stuff. And so that's what I put out there in the world. And that's what we'll be doing tonight. Cool. So we'll get started. I did want to note, as you can see, I am wearing a bodice here, and the theme I'm kind of thinking of tonight. Usually I build lots of purely custom things. I have a couple of things I want to show you, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to speed build the LEGO Medieval Blacksmith set tonight. See how quickly I can build it. So it's not something that's custom, though who knows, I might customize along the way. But it is kind of a little bit of a test to see how quickly and easily I can construct something entirely, hopefully within one set, even though within one show, even though it's a very large set. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I recently got to spend a very fun weekend at the New York Renaissance Fair, and so it seemed appropriate to have a show that was themed to that, and that's the plan tonight, to try to do a theme where I am building based off of the Renaissance Fair event I got to attend so recently. I'm briefly gonna check in chat here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Well, it doesn't look like anything. I have another display of chat above me, but it doesn't always catch up in time, so I just wanted to double check down here, but looks like we're cool. So just another quick check. If anyone else is here with me, if you can just let me know about that sound, if things are okay or not, that would just be much appreciated. But it might not be anybody else, so that's okay. I can have fun building with myself. All right. Well, I do want to show the pictures to somebody. So before I bring up the Renaissance Fair pictures, I'm going to grab another custom Lego building that I built actually a couple years ago, but it's been stuck in my office ever since. And so I'm going to bring it over here, show it off. Hopefully along the way, we'll be joined with some other guests and get to play around with that. All right, just a second. Hold on. All right. Here is a recent building I built that's custom. I'm trying to think the right angle to show this to you. Oh, maybe with this camera. All right, let's try that. So I mentioned I build a lot of different custom Lego things. And this is one of my more recent creations. Recent in that it hasn't really been shared with the world, but it's actually a couple years old. I never got to finish it because I took it to my office because I didn't have enough space in my apartment at the time. And it's been sitting on top of my desk in my office for like 3 or 4 years. Never got to finish it. And that is this building right here. Let's see. Shut off there. Camera back here. That kind of works, right? You can see that. I think. Hey, there we go. So this is, I don't quite know what yet. It was a different building than what I usually build because it has the angle here, right? So this is built to the normal Lego modular standard, like all of my buildings. But I wanted to do part of it on an angle. This is, I think, even before Lego came out with an angled set. I took a stab at my own angled building. I had a lot of these dark red bricks available, and so I just went for broke. Also, all these tan windows, including these little circular ones that are down here at the bottom. I wanted to use those after I got a bunch of them. And this is my attempt at doing that, creating lots of little pillars and little details that I thought looked cool, and trying out a triangular Lego building. And so my thinking is that this would be a newspaper. In my small town, this would be the home of an attempt at a print media place to stay alive. It would still be the local newspaper in my little Lego town when I build that all together in the future. So here's the outside, and you can see the details on the two sides that would face the street, and then the back it's nice, but it's very plain because this is where other buildings would come up against it, so it wouldn't you wouldn't really see these parts because these would be next to other Lego buildings. Yeah, and so here I can switch another. Well, thank you, Mimi. Oh, and good. I did want to check with someone just to make sure that you can hear me because sometimes I have audio problems, and I tried to do a suppressor tonight to drive out my AC so you couldn't hear my AC. So I do want to check that my volume's okay, that you can't hear the AC, all that good stuff. Right? Yes. Jay, 100%. Spider-Man, climb the outside, making the editor go apoplectic. That's definitely the idea here. And here I'm going to do the top-down camera so I can show you inside and take off the floors here. Oh, that's the zoom one. Let's go back a little bit. All right. So here's the building again, which I can barely see the screen around the height of the building, but I'll start to lift things off. So right at the tippy top, there is a little space, right in a little room right up there, and you can see the stairwell coming up from the floor below right there. So it is all accessible from the interior. This is not, I have to admit, in most buildings I built since, I always try to have an elevator as well as stairs. Oh, great. Thank you for saying I sound great. I appreciate that. And, oh yeah, America likes you. That's great. Americat likes you. But yeah, so this is sort of a nice little, sorry, so I was saying all my buildings, I try to have stairs and an elevator. So maybe this is not as accessible as I ideally would like it to be. But hopefully still cool. But yeah, a little top area to relax and come up and have your lunch on the roof underneath the trellis up top there. And then all the other floors are empty. So this is where, to my mind, the building isn't done because I really do want to get the interiors populated. So here's the next floor down. Wide open space. And there's, I think, some room to better grip this. So right now, these two pillars right here are the only way this entire wall is attached to the floor on an angle here. And that's not ideal. It's not as secure as I'd like it to be. I don't want it to just be a sufferance of tension to keep the building together. So it's my hope to do a little bit better and make this a little bit stronger, which is another benefit to being able to bring it home from the office, which I did last weekend. Finally brought it back. This floor and the floor beneath it are identical. You can actually swap them either way on the building. They're the identical floors, so I'll figure out how to make them unique with what I put inside of them. Um, but then underneath on the ground floor, it is a little bit different. There is a slightly different color. You got the wood walls with, oh, and the tree fell down. It's, I don't think it's that fragile. I think it just got knocked. There you go. The brown wood walls with a little bit of pattern to them, a little bit of structure. The tan above. Underneath the stairs is a bathroom. So I didn't put the door on there, but you can see the toilet. There's a bathroom underneath these stairs. And already a couple of TVs to look down on people coming in the room to show the latest news, or maybe the website. You know, maybe this isn't purely print media. Maybe they're online now. But yeah, that's the building. And even with this, like I mentioned, all the other floors kind of come together. That in theory, I should be able to put this on and even make it a really short, tiny building. I don't want to. I'm not going to push it down because I don't want to accidentally break anything, but it could be this small of a teeny tiny little building. But I did like the color contrast and using all that dark red brick. You have these other couple floors in between, and then the roof. So this was, honestly, I really like how the exterior of this looks. Yeah, just a couple years ago, I ran out of space in my apartment. I thought, what can I do to make my office a little bit more interesting? I was also kind of offloading stuff to my office for a while. And so I took this in there and I left it there for years. And actually now, hey Ashley, thank you for coming in. Um, Leave for ants. I love that. That's a good reference. That's solid, Mimi. Um, the but yeah, sorry, I got caught up. I wasn't even looking at chat. I got so caught up in my descriptions here. But yeah, this building, when I took it into the office, I did not intend to keep it there that long. But I was lazy. I didn't take it home from the office. Then the pandemic happened, and it sat there for years. And now we're moving offices. We're going over to the Hudson Yards, a new building and a new location. And so they're having everyone clean out their offices. So when my parents came in over the weekend with their car, I was able to load not just this custom building, but a whole bunch of other Lego sets out of my out of my office back here home. So it has finally returned after many years being away. So let me slide this off to the side. Ready? Ah, hey, there we go. And there's more people coming in, which is great because I mean, obviously it's great to have anybody or nobody, but I did want to talk a little bit about what I was going to build tonight and why I'm wearing this bodice. And it did make a lot of sense if there's no one around to hear it. So I was vamping with my custom building there, though I did want to show it off too. But tonight I wanted to do something, and this is a great idea that Gotham City Girl in the chat had. I did want to do something to commemorate an event that was recent and it was a lot of fun, and that was visiting the Renaissance Fair. I got to go to the 45th annual New York State Renaissance Fair in Tuxedo, New York, and it was a blast. It was my second time ever going to that fair, but my first time going as myself, which was really cool. I think the first time I was there, I never even imagined that would be something I would want, or not I would want to do it. I didn't think it was something I could do. I think it was something that was one of those, oh, that's a fantasy to imagine. Like being me is a fantasy, and then doing that was an extra fantasy back at the time when I was up there boy moding with some friends. Um, and so it was still fun, but this was definitely a whole new level of fun to get to go as me. And it was a great time. So I do have a couple pictures here, which, there we go. So this is, if I can find my mouse. Where's the mouse? There's four monitors, and I don't know which one my mouse is on. There we go. Um, so this is my website. Just as always, I kind of have it up here as a starting point. But if you want to know about me or see other pictures of my Lego creations, this is a place you can do it. Also, I've been starting to upload copies of my appearances on stream, which I have not done any work on. I don't know how to video edit, let alone have the time. It's a future, another future aspiration, another future dream. But if only for myself to be able to have a record of the past streams. I have been uploading those on the site here. But here is me at the Renaissance Fair, which was a blast. There was actually a really cool bus that went straight out from Manhattan from the Port Authority bus terminal and took you straight to the Renaissance Fair, which was fabulous. And not having to worry about parking was great. So it was very convenient, even though it was an early morning to do that. But we got there and it was a fabulous time. And so they you can kind of get a sense of it here from behind me. The Renaissance Fair in New York is serious business. These there is a substantially sized medieval town that's basically been built. There are buildings everywhere, extending off in lots of directions, and they're full wooden structures. They're the real deal. They're there year round, and then for the are suddenly full of life when the Renaissance Fair rolls around. Um, there was, of course, jousting. There was a more technical joust that happened early in the day, where I think you get to learn about how jousting worked and back then, and all kinds of cool things there. And then Ashley and I got to see the joust to the death at the end of the day, which was far more dramatic than anticipated. I don't have them. Ashley got some amazing videos. There was lots of spurting blood packs. It was shockingly brutal, kind of hilarious. Hard to believe it was children friendly, but it was still really fun to watch. So the Blue Knight played the Jerk Knight, and Spy on honor, and got into a battle, killed most of the people that you see on the stage there before he himself was beheaded. It was, or not quite, they couldn't behead, he couldn't act that out, but he could cut his throat with two swords from the sides, and blood shot up in the air. It was quite dramatic. So that was a heck of a thing. Um, I have no idea what to expect from any of them. This is, like I said, it's my second time, but I don't. I've loved the idea of them, but I never really attended, so I don't know what's the norm in terms of scale. But I was definitely impressed by what I saw here. Um, the waiters, yeah, I was that was my first commentary. They were announcing like you will see people in danger, and I'm like, the insurance carrier wouldn't cover that. And you will see, people might even get hurt. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's gonna fly. Your premiums shoot up, and they're like, some people could even die. I'm like, nah, that's right up. Um, so I was mocking it, but they play acted it to the hilt on that one. Um, so it was great. Hey Torben, oh man, well that's something we'll have to do, right? We'll have to go to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. I can come back and visit, and we can get going. It was violence, blood, and death, though. That's well said, Ashley. So it had me, it had jousting, it had axe throwing and knife throwing and bow shooting, all for amusement park prices. It was not the cheapest thing, but it was a lot of fun, and lots of great vendors. It had washing well wenches. It had Ashley's. And can I just note, everybody, I don't know if you can see it super well in this picture, but everybody came up to talk to Ashley about her sticking with the pointy end t-shirt. She was about on par with the most, meddled up knight walking around there in terms of getting the cosplay responses. So it was, which is not unusual going around with her. That's a normal reaction to her presence. But it was just great. Everyone was loved the shirt. And also just a sign of how different the different costumes were. There's Ursula walking behind. And that weekend was a time traveler weekend. So there was a mix of different outfits allowed. So I did not, I did have basically a Renaissance Fair outfit, which I wore for Halloween years ago. But it was a cheap Halloween outfit. It was not very nice. I mean, it was fine, but it was hot that day, and I did not think I would be able to survive in the wildly unbreathable fabric that constituted that medieval outfit I already had. So I didn't really do anything, but I did get some stuff while I was there. So I got that leather bodice, which was very nice. I need to figure it out. I've tried to put it back on since, and it keeps falling off my shoulders. Something's off, I think, on the back, on the way it's tied. So I need to fix that. But it was still a really nice piece, nice leather. So I'm looking forward. I feel like that's also something I could wear every day. So I'm looking forward to incorporating that into more outfits. And then I also got a more brocade bodice, which is what you're seeing here. I do apologize. I put a picture in Instagram that was just the bodice as a top. I was going a little bit bold at the start. I was sitting down about 20 minutes before this, and I started to feel a little bit doubtful. Like, is this a little too much, maybe? I felt maybe a little bit too aggressively on the risky side. So I did ask someone for advice. So if you are let down that there is a top underneath the bodice, it's Gotham City Girl's fault in the chat. You can blame her, and her number is no. But it was good advice, and I do think the top looks cute with it. So I'm happy. It's definitely more comfortable on the pointy bits to have a top on. That's for sure. But as we build, we are also going to have some mead here. So Ashley and I went out to a great Labor Day weekend in Hudson, New York. Not Hudson Valley, which is the region it's in, but the actual town of Hudson. And we went to a farmer's market and got some mead there, which was quite tasty. So I broke it open because, again, it's thematically appropriate. Cheers, sláinte, medieval toast, have some mead. Alrighty. So I mentioned that the build I'm going to do. I think I can't remember who was here when I said it, but normally you see me do custom Lego things, and I love that, and I still want to do it. You will always see me do custom Lego things, but I do want to find different ways to shake it up. You know, we've been building the Lego school, which has been in the works for a while. We can see how quickly I can spin the camera here to. We'll see. Oh, you can kind of see the top of the school. So the school still exists. It's here beside me. You can see also on that same modular scale as the building I brought home. So the school is still there. We're still going to work on its interior. That will get done here on the stream. We still have the Lego train. All of the wonderful aspects of the trans train and its various cars of gender and sexual identities still is around right here beside me. That will continue to grow over time as we come up with new cool things. But it's fun to shake it up and add a little bit of variety. And so that's where I did get to do last time started a mosaic. I don't know if you can recognize it for someone who didn't see it built before, but this is Katra in her bangin' tuxedo outfit from She-Ra, Princesses of Power. It's kind of filled in. So some of this happened after the stream where I hadn't done most of the black, so I did go back and fill in the black. So this is pretty close to how it should appear. That being said, there are some pieces on here that are raised. You can see them sticking up because I didn't have enough of the flat 1x1 plates to fill in all of these spots. And so I used full-size bricks to remind me of where I need to replace them. I have ordered more, but they have not yet arrived, so I haven't been able to completely finish good old Katra here. But this is pretty darn close in my mind to being complete, and I like how it turned out. So that was what we did last time. Find the different places to wedge things. So this time, having come out of the Renaissance Fair, having mead readily available, having this bodice that I want to make use out of so it wasn't a waste of money, I figured it was good to do a medieval themed build tonight. And in my closet, which I've had for a while, but I had not yet built, was this set. The LEGO Medieval Blacksmith. So this set is pretty darn cool. Well, generally speaking, a lot of Lego sets are awesome, but often I usually just buy sets for parts. I don't get them because I want to build them necessarily. I want to get them on a discount so I can build the custom stuff that you've been seeing. But some sets are just too cool not to want. And generally speaking, if it's a Lego idea set, I'm probably going to buy it just to build that set itself. So these are sets that were inspired by Lego builders like you and me, people who went out and came up with something they thought was cool, they thought looked unique and distinct, and didn't violate any copyrights that Lego didn't have ownership of or the ability to purchase. And they put it on a site that used to be called Lego Caruso or some weird pronunciation of whatever that meant. Now it's Lego Ideas. People vote on them, and when a set gets over 10,000 votes, then Lego, the company, actually evaluates those results and picks sets to actually make into official sets. So they usually do change them a bit. build them to their standards, and what makes them playable, what makes them efficient to build and cost wise to sell, all kinds of different factors that play into it. But the sets are still something that was the brainchild of a Lego fan out there in the world, which is really cool. And so I got this set ages ago, but I never built it. And so I thought this would be a perfect time not only to build it, not only to do it thematically, but also to kind of be a little bit of a speed test. I like to think I build relatively quickly, but with custom sets, it's a hit or miss thing because I don't build with a plan. I'm just going off the fly. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what pieces I need, and so trying to prepare for that is not always super easy. And also, no, you slay Omega, you slay. So when I build an official set, it is kind of for me almost a little bit of a speed competition. How rapidly can I do this? Um, so that's what we're going to kind of try this evening. We're almost half an hour into the stream time. Um, and while I can sometimes go long or something, I think I'm gonna, generally speaking, I kind of need to cut it short because it is a school night and I do have work tomorrow. And lately, I now have a 7:30 meeting on Thursdays, which is just evil. Stupid other time zones and people in other countries. So I have to be up for that. I can't miss that. So um, it is a test of speed. So I think the question is, with 2,164 pieces, can I do this in this stream? So this is the test. Don't worry, I'm not going to not look at the chat. I want to talk just as much, but I figure we can also try see if I can do this relatively rapidly while we're going with it. It's a bold move, Cotton Torben. Let's see how it works out for me. So we'll first of all. Oh, I have to say this is like the worst nail job I've ever done. Um, like 10 minutes before the start, I'm like, oh, I should do purple nails, and don't rush your nails, people. Uh, it doesn't come out well. There's like stuff on the side of my fingers. They're tacky. They're already broken, or not broken, but like, yeah, it's not good. I'm gonna have to redo these. I tried though. I tried to get more purple in. I had the purple in the skirts. You see it? Purple in the brocade, purple in the necklace. I thought purple nails, purple rings. Um, but I shot a little bit too. I was a little bit more Icarus than Daedalus on this one. All right, let's pull these out. 14, 8. I'm gonna try to put them in order so I can like grab them relatively quickly as I move down the numbers. 3, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, there's 1. 8. Oh, sorry, get my phone out of the way here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that fell on the ground. 2. Okay. We have off to the side here our handy dandy instructions. I feel ya. I feel ya. I would love having my nails painted, and so actually I try to do a good job, and then I leave it on as long as possible. They get pretty ratchet at the end, but sometimes it's kind of cool too. But yeah, I love seeing the contrasts against my skin. So I love doing my nails. And congrats, Torben, on being able to stay home. That's pretty awesome. I actually just switched to a new department. My whole function, me, my team, the whole budget was just moved from one department to another. So it's in some ways it's great. Like none of my job didn't change. In many ways, it expanded. I have a couple more people on my team now. But it's been a very hectic few weeks because it was not something I knew was coming. It was sort of a surprise, what they call a zigzag move to help get people around to get more experiences. And so it's been a wild crush. But one upside of the department I moved to, my old department was already very, very cool about working remotely. My new department, most people only work remotely. So I don't know when I'm ever going back in the office. All right, let's get going. You can see the first 5 bags are in these are the phases we'll go across here. So let's see how speedily we can do this. Wait, I know. Thank you again, Mimi, at the start. Let me know that you could hear me okay. One thing that has been challenging for me is that with my AC going, it's either have a constant low grade whir noise in the background or broil under the lights. But I finally took the little bit of effort to look up how to tune that out. And I found OBS has a built-in noise suppressor filter, which I applied, and I think it's working. I guess let me know. I know you can see the effect of the AC, but do you hear the AC, or is it truly tuned out like I'm hoping it's been tuned out? That would be awesome to know that and be able to be comfortable and be heard. All right. Blacksmith. All cheerful with the big beard. You have an extra beard. That's cool. Rocking the ponytail. Sorry, I was doing that a little bit too low. There is our blacksmith. And here we go. Ooh, it's a cool color. Usually they're orange. It's kind of neat. Got a doggy. Husky doggy. Good. That's great. I'm glad, Torben, that you do not hear anything. You shouldn't hear anything, so that is a good sign that it is indeed working as intended. Well, I mentioned all of my weekends, but I had my parents in last weekend. I had the Renaissance Fair weekend before that. This past weekend, I guess, wow, because it's a couple weeks ago. This past weekend, I got to go to Governor's Island for the first time and do a LGBT themed party out there, which was great. Even though there was not as much sea breeze as I was hoping, so it was a little hot and humid out there. But really cool to go out to that different venue and take the ferry. What have you been up to? What have you guys gotten to do lately? Have you gotten to travel at all? Let me know while I build. Let's do... I think it's interesting what colors they bring into play. Things I wouldn't necessarily have anticipated or expected. Like this sand green color, which is very rare. It's not a common color. Yeah, I can feel the polish coming off as I break open these bags. Yeah, even the dark tan. I have a lot of dark tan, but it's still not always the most common color, so it's cool to see that in use. There. There we go. Color leaf and normal. Lots of unique pieces in these sets. That's one cool thing. You can get, if you buy extra idea sets, you get a lot of cool pieces. The downside is these are not probably the best bang for your buck dollar-wise. They're extremely cool sets, but these sets, and even more so the architecture sets, are probably the most you're going to pay per brick in a set. At least I think that's true. It's what I've encountered. So they're amazing sets if you want to build them. If you're buying them for parts, you better hope you're getting them on a big sale, because otherwise you're probably not getting a deal, per se. Want something in an ideal world is about 10 cents a brick. That's a decent pricing for a set to feel like you're getting good value. Value, of course, being that you want it for the pieces. If you want it for the set, that's another way to measure value entirely. All right. Two. Boom. Now, these always come untied. I have no idea. I double knotted this before this started and it's untied. I have no idea. And it's impossible to tie when it's on your own elbow. I don't know how you do that. I have not figured it out. So I guess this is probably the exterior of the blacksmith's house. Man, olive green, all kinds of shades that you don't usually see. That's pretty cool. Never seen this before. 3x3 circular piece. Oh, the things that fascinate you when you are like a... Relaunching your YouTube channel. Well, that's awesome. That's super cool. I don't know how it works here. If you're allowed to or able to, just from the rules, to share that in chat here. But if you can't, I'd love to know about it. You can always go to our Discord. There's a Builder's Block channel on the Discord there, and you can share it there if you can't share it here, because that sounds extremely cool. I would definitely like to know more about that. Great. Oop. Oop. That goes there. I say the AC feels wonderful. It's not always the easiest with the hair, depending on how my luck of how things blow across my face. That sounded more suggestive than I meant it to. I can't articulate tonight. I don't know if you can hear the music. I can hear the music. That's pretty fun. That was the wrong place. Huh. Interesting. We don't usually do that. Cool. So these pieces can snap into kind of the middle of these sections. They don't have to go on top of a stud. They can go in between the studs and they'll click into place. I usually don't see that in official sets. So that's kind of intriguing that they have that different kind of connection being used in an official set. But hopefully you can see this. I have to remind myself to not go too low towards me off screen. It's good. Plug the hell out of it is the way to go. You said trans voice cast. Is it like skit comedy? Is it? I'm just spitballing here. You know, D&D kind of adventures. If you're willing to share that. Yeah. Those ideas are popping through my head right now. There are not a lot of instructions on these pages. This is going very quickly. Huh. I'm doing this little bit up here. Side note, has anyone watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners or played Cyberpunk? I enjoyed it, especially after it was updated. I like it quite a bit, the game. But I've just started watching Edge Runners, and it's very good. Yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit. Do you recommend it? Oh, these are all dark green? No, they're supposed to be bright. Why do I have a different number? Let me go back and double check this. I have a different colored green thing than I expected to have. Make sure I did not already screw it up so soon. No, 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Oh, it's a different shade of green. Ah, tricked me. There we go. Alright, put a little bone down here. Guess for the doggy. Fourth-tuned MST3K. Whoa! That's awesome. That that is original. I can comfortably say that. That is cool. I have not heard of something like that before. That is super neat. Thank you for both putting out there and sharing. These are mossy stones out here. They're building. It's a moss-covered brick. 1, 2, 3, 1. Cool. What are we doing? All right. 17 minutes. On step 18. Good progress. Good progress. All right. Do you think I can do this? I should have maybe asked that at the start. I don't know if people have faith in me to pull this off. It has been a while. This is key. The two-handed build. Get all of your limbs working for you, or at least most of them. You can't see my feet, but they're very busy building right now. That's good. Cool. There. That. I think this is a coal for a fire. The bottom, this black bit in here is the bottom of a coal pile, I think. I'm guessing that. That's my bet. I'm betting on that. Oops. So probably extras. Extra. Nice. Bag one. Done. You probably shouldn't set Lego on fire. I mean, I don't know what its melting point is, but you know, setting a lot of things on fire is probably a bad idea if you think about it. Not, but you know, if you're freezing to death, then maybe you should set Lego on fire. Circumstances do matter. All right, what does box 2 say? Bag 2. Boxy bag. All right, we are going to start over here. Side. I think that's all that's new. All right. We have a bench of some kind. Oh, jeez. Wow. All right. Mental note: skirt comes in handy to catch Lego pieces. Didn't nothing falling through my lap there. That is just plop right there on top. So, would not have thought about that in a prior life. Now I know. Skirts. They have lots of uses. Not always pockets. All right. I guess these are raw ingots to be turned into something in the forge. Starting that. Huh. It's some fairly straightforward steps. I guess because there's so many different colors, they keep it simple so you can not miss what happens in the next step. Jeez. Yeah. Some technic pieces here. That's kind of interesting. Here, ooh, and a sword. Where? Yeah. That's an interesting point. I honestly very rarely wear skirts. It's nothing against skirts. I just have very few that I actually think are currently flattering on me. And so I tend to just do shorts or jeans. Um, Not that it doesn't have its own etiquette reminders on how to how I want to feel comfortable presenting myself. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about that with skirts. It's an interesting point. Oh, this little bit. We'll pull out the tab for the battery. And then whenever you hit it, creates your fire. So we will put our fire. Oh, jeez, where's that little plastic throwaway bit? Fire down here. Get that forge glowing. Which makes sense. Again, the coal is right there, so that seems right for being the fire or charcoal, perhaps. That's it there. All right, let's see what this is. Blue, transparent blue. That's interesting. It's like water, or stained glass, maybe. Interesting way they have the pieces stacked on each other. Interesting. I wonder how that transparent blue will play in, if you'll see that at all in the future, if that's just there to fill in the gaps. Sometimes they put very different colors in the middle if they just want it to be easier to follow on the instructions, or they think it's just kind of a fun difference, but it doesn't actually show up externally. So it'll be interesting if that is something that displays or not as the build continues. Oh, this is interesting. So they do have a window here, window piece that goes, this little part here that you push in can go inside the window frame, so you can still reach it while being able to have a structure on the side of it. Well, this is kind of cool. So orange bits being like the fire and the black embers in the fire, I guess, or it makes it look like the charcoal's in there, or who knows what, but it's a cool looking effect, having this orange on top of the red. And these are transparent pieces, so they should still light up, but they light up a little differently. That's cool. Oh! We are now going to lay the sword in the fire. So we can forge that steel. And here's some tongs on the outside. Take it in and out of the fire, I guess. That's pretty cool. So I guess you do your forging outside. Oh, some bellows. That's pretty neat. Oh, this is cool. So the bellows are going to attach to that little piece that you push in to make it glow. So you actually will manipulate the bellows to get the fire glowing. Right? Use the bellows to blow at the fire. It's pretty cool. They are very clever, those LEGO people. Sorry, I'm catching up on the sitting instincts. I hear ya. I hear ya. But hey, while I'm babbling, I just a thought. So I don't know if anyone is aware of the Out and Equal Workplace Summit. It's a very cool thing. About 5,000 attendees from the world's, or at least the US's major corporations and often government organizations that get together to talk about LGBTQ issues in the workplace. I got to go in person in 2019, which is the first thing I ever did as myself for work, even though I'm not actually out at work. I was able to do it sort of secretly with the help of some friends in the LGBTQ organization that I was ostensibly an ally in versus being a member. It was great. I had a wonderful time. Then when the pandemic happened, it moved online, understandably. So it is returning for the first time this year. And today I got the approval from my new boss and new department to go because our LGBTQ organization pays for the attendance fee, but it doesn't cover travel and expense. You need your department to pay for that. And so I will be in Vegas in October for a week attending the Out and Equal Workplace Summit. So I'm very excited. That just happened this morning that I got the approval and purchased my tickets and hotel room. Yeah, it'll be a good time, an educational time, and hopefully a very fun time too. Though that's not the purpose. The purpose is to learn, but it could be a bonus. Oh, and that's something else to mention. So I mentioned that event that I'm going to attend in person. I'm also going to be attending a virtual event coming up very soon. I'll mention this again later on, but Trans Pride, uh, Pittsburgh, Trans Pride PGH.org is having the Trans Pride Pittsburgh Wellness Conference coming up very soon, October 7th, 8th, and 9th, I believe, or 6th, 7th, 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I think it's 7th, 9th, over a weekend. It's a virtual conference, which, if you are a member of the trans and gender nonconforming community, non-binary community, you can attend for free. If you're a healthcare professional, you can attend and pay a fee, and then you get there's a couple different ways to get continuing education credits within there. But for those of us, and if you're an ally, I think it's $25 to attend. But for the members of the community, it is free, and there are lots of different cool events. They just have been updating some of the agenda if you register, but it's free, so and it's virtual. So I signed up. I'll be going at least I think Thursday and Friday, trying to attend a bunch of things. So if you want to consider it, you can go to transpridepgh.org and learn more and register for free right there. So several members who are involved in the Transverse are also involved in getting that show going. And so it sounds exciting to see that kick off. I know I went to the Trans Wellness Conference in Philadelphia and loved it. It was an amazing experience. So if it's anything even remotely like that, it will be a good experience. All right. Is that all? Oh, wow. Easy one. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right. I built all that too far forward. So we'll just move it back. Sorry, can't see what I'm doing down here. Move this back one. Back one. Now I can attach this. All right. Bag two done. Decent progress here. Decent progress. Thanks for you those willing to stick around with me and see how this goes. I'm sorry, I recognize I can get too focused on building and not do as good conversationally, so I apologize for that. I will try to keep looking up and checking in with you as I try to speed build here as well. Right. Some people do very cool things like they sort through all their brick ahead of time, which I think can make for a very efficient and satisfying experience. I have to admit, I just dive in. I try to recognize pieces or patterns and just fly along. I don't. I guess I don't have the patience to sort for every bag. I just do. Which is not to say it's better or worse. It is just the way I enjoy it, because we all should enjoy these as we want to. If you're not enjoying it, why are you even doing it? Since I built this twice, I built two of those. There. This guy's supposed to rotate that again. All right. There'll be some steps going up, I guess, there. I am feeling very medieval, Omega. Thank you for asking. I don't think I'm gonna bathe for a little while. We're gonna get natural. I have to say it was so fun to be at the Renaissance Fair. See so many amazing outfits. It was really cool. Um, but it's nice to have that kind of that little bit of a crutch that we have today to also have the different hygiene standards. Because I saw some people who were going really authentic. They had a number of Vikings who were going around, which is cool. The outfits are amazing. When you got up close to them occasionally, didn't always smell that great. Which I don't mean to denigrate. It was just a reality, especially in the heat and all that leather and hides that they were wearing. Um, but the yeah, medieval hygiene aside, the medieval world and getting to do that little fantasy version of it was a lot of fun. Um, I also say so many LGBTQ participants and vendors and performers, which is really cool. Um, we The first act we saw was the Flaming Ginger, who was quite hilarious and made a number of jokes about being flaming. Um, but yeah, it was just really cool. Every time he would uh, call over a group of people to watch, he would say, you know, lords and ladies and babies in between or things like that. It was just always created and nice to have those little bits of inclusion, and that was very much echoed throughout. I think the entire fair. We would find some really cool things to buy, some really cool like leather pouches or uh, I have a little she they leather tag on a strap to add to different bags and things, kind of like a luggage tag, all kinds of different little things. And you'd be like, all right, this is a really cool thing. I'm glad I bought it. But hey, what an extra bonus. I'm also supporting an LGBTQ small business. Because that used to be was the case. When someone would come over and this cool person would come by and say, hey, oh yeah, this is great. And you see she had a she her on her vest, and she talked about how she and her wife had started the company and were making it together, and yeah, those kinds of casual inclusions and references were happening constantly. So it was an added bonus to a place where I'm not surprised that it was welcoming, but to see it be so outspokenly uh, not only supportive but uh, founded and based and run by so many people who found themselves under various kinds of LGBTQ identities that made sense for them uh, to be a part of it. Yeah, it was really cool. I'm rambling now. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I have to admit, I did not think mead was so light and so sweet. I don't mind. It's really good. But that's, I think I pictured mead as being this dark, honey, syrupy thing. I guess I don't know why. Just that was what I pictured in my head. And so it's still kind of a surprise that it is this like light, delicious little thing. Kind of more like cider than anything. So I'll pull that cord out. Well, thank you, Danny. I think you're cute. You know, and honestly, this was something novel. I'm gonna say, like, I never wear a skirt, and so it was kind of cool to like pull this out. This is one of the first things I got way back when. I have not worn it in so long, but I thought the purple kind of worked because I didn't know quite what to pair with this. And so it was cool to find this. Oh, no worries. I appreciate you're here at all. You bounce away. It's lovely to have you for as much time as you can be here. But thank you. Let me know. Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go. It's running out of pieces. All right, got our first windows set up, and you're not even seeing this because I forgot to switch back. The first window is set up on the side of our building here. I did this one. So now to step 43. We are flying, people. We're gonna do this. We're gonna pull this off. Um, thank you, Omega. That is awesome to hear. I mean, you know, they'll come out. Like I said, I don't have anything against skirts. It's just feeling like I'm doing they're flattering me has been the bigger challenge. So if I can find the right combination of things, I am all for it. And for what it's worth, this, I think actually having the bodice kind of pull things in above the skirt is probably what makes me enjoy this more than I might otherwise. Oh, right. Do you want to talk about the concert that you went to? Those are some amazing pictures that you were sharing. Just a random thought, but that was a very cool thing and looking event. Step 43, 2 and races. Yo. Seeing things. Nope. That's it. Let's get a hinge for a door there. That's cool. That's... Oh, no, over here. That's right, Lil Nas X. I knew that. I just was blanking on it, like I blank on all names. Um, that's awesome. I'm so glad you got to go and had so much fun. I didn't even commemorate step 42 when we were there. Answer to life, the universe, and me. Cool. That's an easy step. A little archway for the door there. That's nice. Great. Always the most important. Always the most important. You have the 42 there. I'm a little bit scared. I'm like, my life is going to culminate, in theory, I guess, next year when I hit the big 42 myself. I don't know where to go after that. So much writing. 42. Huh, this is interesting. I guess there's a little armor rack that's going to go between the windows. A little greaves? Pauldrons? What goes on the shoulder? Little holder is clever. Armor lays on top, but it's still sliding around, and so you use this little piece to lock it in. It's different. Cool little shelf there. And shield. All right, easy enough. Little black and silver bird shield. Hey everyone. Hey, I see we have a few more folks. I think that last time I looked up, I got sort of engrossed here. If you just popped in, thank you for joining. You're seeing me, Jess, here on the Builder's Block, building Legos. We're having some fun, and where normally I build custom creations, custom Lego creations that I make from scratch. This time around, I'm building an official Lego set. But my excuse is that it's themed. It's a medieval blacksmith set, and it's themed because I just got back recently from the New York Renaissance Fair, hence the bodice that I'm wearing that I bought there. And I'm drinking mead, and so building a medieval building seems appropriate. We're trying to kind of do a speed build here, where I see if I can build the whole thing. All 2,164 pieces can be put in their proper order before the end of the stream. So it's a little bit of a build order, of a build race, a speed build to try to get done. So we're shooting for. I like to think I'm a fast builder. I feel like I'm a fast builder, at least when I'm following sets. But it's not like I normally time myself. So it's a little bit of, I don't actually know if I can pull this off, because usually when I'm building, I'm like watching a movie or watching shows and just kind of mindlessly assembling while watching. So this is a little interesting to do it while being watched and trying to pull it off. And thank you. I really do. I do like this. I appreciate the comments. It's very dark, I think, on the picture here, but it is a dark purple bodice, since all the other purple accents everywhere else to kind of go along with it. So yeah, it's a cool thing. And don't worry about where you're going at 32. You're great. You're gonna be yeah. If anything, it flies by, but that's not always a bad thing. It's been 30s were surprisingly fun. It's surreal to think that I'm not in the 30s anymore, and that I haven't been for a year. It's a weird thought. 2 years, I guess. Yeah. I feel the same. I'm still 27 as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe it that I've actually aged. I'm just gonna stick with that. No, they're pumpkins, and that's why it was a different green. That's very clever. Alright. I think my bro might have stopped by. I got a text saying he was in. So if you're out there, Justin, hi. And if you're watching Sala, hi. Aunt Jess here, building Legos. As you will be, because you better believe I'm always going to be getting you Legos as gifts for the rest of your life. Is that you texting? Oh, it's the same text. I guess it was just delayed repeat. Ah, the AC is nice, but the blowing across the face can be rough depending on the angle. All right, where was I? Step 50. Nice even 50. All right. We're doing this, people. We're gonna do this. It was interesting getting laced into the bodice at the Renaissance Fair. I've been trying to recreate it. It's not the easiest thing to do yourself, I found, as it was nice to have someone do it for me. That is a luxury you cannot always have. I do not currently have a scullery dressing maid to dress me in. So sadly I have to do it myself for at least a little bit longer. But you know, goals. It's important to have goals in life. Alright, this is that way. Aha. Little understairs storage there, I guess. Hey, Russ. That's solid, Russ. Statue of Liberty. Oh no. Oh, Russ, I'm so sorry. I mean, at least, yeah, hopefully you have instructions so it's not like it's irrecoverable. I know that's been a challenge for me, especially when I put custom things in storage because I have no instructions. So if they break, I'm kind of screwed. I'm relying off like old like Flickr pictures and stuff to try to recreate things sometimes. So that's rough. I feel you that your set broke, and I am sorry you have to go through that. But like you said, good excuse to rebuild. Bring back dress maids. I mean, I imagine there are people that still do have dress maids. Stella, Sierra Summit's awesome. Stella likes the pumpkins. That's so great. All right, that's a good note. Stella's gonna be getting some Lego pumpkins for Halloween this year. Awesome to have you here. Thank you for stopping by. And when you guys come out to New York, you can see this. This is probably the room that I'll have the mattress for you guys to stay in when you come out here. This is the office Lego room that you're seeing me live from. It's my brother and sister-in-law. All right, where was I? We are. I don't know if you guys heard when you came in, but we're trying to speed build this. See if I can put together the 2,000 some pieces before it's time for me to be a responsible adult and go to bed. Here we go. Right, that was it. These are very easy steps. A little wood pile underneath the covering there, underneath the stairs. Aha. Got some steps. Nice. And 3 bags down. All right, I was really confident before. As I'm looking at the time, yeah, I might not be able to do all this. We're gonna get close. We're gonna get close. Ish. A certain degree of close. Guess I'm not the speed builder I think I am. That's humbling to acknowledge. pick it up then. I actually did win some speed building contests, which sounds more impressive than it is. These were at some LEGO events, like well, specifically Brick Fair, New Jersey, which sadly last year was the last year they're going to do that event. They're doing other venues like Pennsylvania this year. There's actually a Brick Fair, Torben, if you're still, yeah, and in Exton, where Kurt is. You know, they're sadly off in Munich, or otherwise I talk about trying to go out there and go to the Brick Fair, Pennsylvania. And so there are some speed building competitions that happen there. I've won some prizes. There's speed building. There's also blind building, which is kind of fun. You're looking at the instructions, but there's a tray in your hands, and the pieces are on the other side of the divider in front of you on a tray, and so you have to build without being able to see the pieces or your hands. It's all by feel while you're looking at the instructions. And I won that too. So there you go. Fancy. Oh, strangling with hoodie cords. I'm sorry you're strangling, but I appreciate you suffering for my viewership. So thank you. Great. Whatever these little decorations are, it says 4, so I built 4. Let's see where they go. Turn this around so I'm doing it from the same angle. Right. Let's see through my hair. Here. Here. All right. Sorry, oh so quietly building. It's one bad side about trying to speed build is it's hard to talk and look up at chat and remember to talk and look up at chat. So my apologies. I think I'm getting a picture of my niece, so I had to see that. I hope you understand. It's not loading, which I think is because I'm using up all my bandwidth to stream. Oh, that's super cute. Hi, Stella. Hi, Stella. My niece is the coolest niece on earth. Sorry, I'm sure you others, all you folks might have cool nieces and nephews, but they're not as cool as my niece. So it's just the reality. Nothing personal. Sorry, I'm also seeing the video out the corner of my eye. That's super cute. You don't get to see that. Sorry. All right, step 57. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. That's a very good idea. Some of you might have heard some of this before, but uh, for my sister-in-law and brother and niece, especially, the Renaissance Fair was fabulous. So we woke up. We had to get up very early. So the bus left at time. I don't know if actually if you're in the chat, if you remember what time the bus left. It was we left even like we left plenty of time to get there, and we end up actually finding out there was an even earlier bus, and so we actually left like a half hour, 45 minutes earlier than we expected. Um, and so we got there. Oh, I want to say 11. Man, it's sad that I can't remember this, but we got there pretty early. The Renaissance Fair started at 10, and I think we were pulling up to it around 10:30 and actually off the bus around 11. So it was we got to have a really full day there, and we took the bus back at 6:30. So it was a long day, which was great to have the bus and get every moment we could out of the Renaissance Fair, and then still get a nice ride where we can nap on the way back. That's right, 10 was projected. We got 9:30. Thank you, Ashley. Um, yeah, so it was super smooth to go through the Port Authority, get our tickets. There, it's a little anachronistic with the bus terminal. Um, we had to have printed like from a printer copy of the tickets. It could not be an email. You had to have it printed out on paper. So thankfully, I had gotten a new printer last Black Friday, so I had something. So I was able to meet that requirement. So I had our tickets printed out, but it was a good deal where you not only got to go to the Renaissance Fair, but you could buy a bus ticket and your Renaissance Fair ticket together at a discounted price. So it was a nice little twofer there that let us go. So yeah, it was a smooth, easy arrival. And then when we got there, uh, I kind of alluded to this before, but that it was more inclusive than I think I could even have dared to hope. Like there was a trans woman in her own bodice and dress and other medieval accoutrement there, welcoming us to guide us coming off the bus into the fair. So right away, inclusion, representation, and feeling comfortable, which was pretty awesome. So got it was a great start there. It is like a theme park. There's this full wooden village that's been constructed and built out. So it is very elaborate, and it can there is a map in which you do kind of need. We kind of learned our way eventually, but it is a lot to make your way through. A lot of different sites and areas. There's like a Norse village where you can learn how they lived back then, and they have like tents and the little exhibitions and shows. There is a queen, and a whole lot of things happen with the queen throughout the day. Her arrival on the Queen's Landing. I may be able to quickly show since I think I'm already not gonna finish this. So we'll um, find yeah. So here's me on the streets of the Renaissance Fair. I can also go back. Um, so like here was well, there's some of the jousting happening and the whole joust scene with the whole crowd there when we were watching the joust take place. And it was a gorgeous day, a little hot, but it's still a beautiful day for it all. With the main jousting arena. There was a little kissing bridge, so we got to take some pictures there. Um, there's a camel that kids could ride on, which is pretty crazy and cool. And I would say at the top here we had, I think swords. So a bunch of Ashley trying to figure out the pointy end to go with her shirt with the pointy end bodice. Oh, here, this was the Queen's Landing. So there's like a little artificial lake. The Queen would arrive and get off at the Queen's Landing, and then throughout the day there's a schedule you could follow that said the Queen will be here, the Queen will be here, and her court, and you can learn about them and see how they dine, all kinds of cool things throughout the day. So we didn't get to do any of those things, but it's still cool to know that they're there and that they have this added pageantry that's scheduled as well as being able to just walk around and do whatever. I think our first thing we did was we saw the Flaming Gingers juggling show, which was awesome and hilarious, and roiling hot. I immediately put on a hat because I felt my scalp getting too hot, and then I immediately put suntan lotion on my ears because I felt my ears burning. It was intense. I feel for many of the performers, especially in how extensive a lot of their clothing, even attendees, the cosplay clothing that a lot of people brought was a lot. They had to be very hot with full actual chainmail underneath uh, a, a full heavy coat underneath or on top of full heavy linen underclothing. Like it was crazy. It was elaborate. It was very high fidelity, I'm sure, and looked very uncomfortable. Uh, so I think we were saying we loved it. We want to come back and do better outfits, and we're gonna do that in the fall when we can actually be cool. Um, I know you can't quite see this. I'm doing these little layered brick corners here, which is cool because they're not just alternating. They also are a bit of relief where they're raised off the surface. It creates a neat little brick corner effect there. So one corner down. So yeah, that was the Renaissance Fair. And shut up, Russ. I get places early sometimes. Sometimes. I'm trying to do better. Trying to do better. If nothing else, my guilt about being late is just as strong as it always was. And now it's sometimes actually making a difference. And alternate these little bricks down the side here. Not the easiest to get them on straight, especially when they're tiny. I really like this effect. I have to copy this. This is really cool. This is, I do get, for all that I like to build the custom stuff, you definitely get some pretty awesome ideas from official sets. And definitely I'm seeing some really cool techniques here for how they're doing these bricks on the corners to create the edges. I don't know what that is. Not cornice. I don't. Things, architectural things. Is that? Oh no, it goes even lower. There. Cool. Well, I'm glad I'm a part of your weird night that you're willing to come and bounce back over here amongst your streams. It's an honor to be included. So I hope it's a fun kind of weird as you bounce back and forth between streams. You come back for step 61 now. So we continue to race along. Trying to think if there are any other cool stories from the Renaissance Fair. We talked about the jousting, which was weirdly I think Stella would have loved it, and I don't think it was Stella appropriate for my niece. The it was surprisingly bloody for a fake fight. It was pretty intense. Um, a lot of fun to watch and hilarious, but way more blood capsules and fictionalized murders than I anticipated. Definitely did not see that coming. These are kind of neat little capstones to the doorways. All right, let's stick some plants in here. Weed. Weed, I don't think it's actually weed, but it's a weed. All right, we have a barrel out here. Some swords, I guess, that are either finished or still to be forged. It's your typical barrel of swords that you have, as one does. Still working on putting together my barrel of swords, but someday. Get the thirsty sword lesbian trope going. Oh, we got an anvil here. It's pretty nifty. No, it's impossible to see from afar, but I promise it's right here. It exists. It was like professional wrestling. That is a very accurate description of events. Far more pompously, dramatically worded, I would say. But fun. We were a little bit disappointed. At first, we were really excited. So they had the knights come out and they're riding around their horses, and one of them was this uh, a very attractive woman in black and silver, riding around, and we're like, "Holy crap! There's a lady knight. That's so cool!" Uh, she's pulling off the some very powerful vibes. It was a solid outfit. It was a solid rider, and so we were very excited. And then she rode off to the side, and it turns out she was the Lady of Justice. She was just there to ensure the rules were followed for the joust, which kind of felt like a ripoff. Felt like a little bit of a cop out. That we're going back, and only the guys are allowed to joust. So that was a bit of a letdown, but it was still cool to see her. And so she would do a lot of the announcing and talking. Um, she was the only one mic'd. The other two knights were trying to scream, and I think unless you were in the front couple rows, you could hardly hear a freaking word. So that was not the easiest thing ever. Oh, oh. The meat helps. The meat helps. Got a little display stand for the helmets in being created there. Their blacksmithing tools. What's over here? Oh, we got a whole bunch of rods. 5 rods that will drop into this bucket. Cool. 4, 5. We'll put a hammer on the wall. Put a shovel on the wall. Put a broom on the wall. Looks like there's another little anvil inside with, I guess, a bar of gold on it or something. All right, and then we'll check in on where we are in time once I finish this bag here. All right. So we have our blacksmith's dog. Yeah, most of the first floor done. A little more to go. You can see the front door there, and the forge, which lights up when you push the bellows. I heard something fall, but I don't know what. Oh, the swords fell out. That's okay. There's a tree to add and a archer, and then we'll be done with the first floor. So I will do those, and I'm guessing that will probably be the stream at this point. Lady Chivalry, thank you. That's even lamer. She should have been a contender. Do with that joke what you will. Coulda and shoulda. Alright, bag 5 here. So out of 14, got through 5. Not as much as I hoped. I really thought, you know what, I'm fast. Hour and a half? Sure, no problem. 2,000 pieces, no big deal. I was clearly wrong. But at least now I don't feel like I'm as slow when I'm building my custom things. So I'm not apparently all that much faster when I'm building things from a plan I can see. Excuse me. Wow. I feel like this is going to be a pain. To build all of this greenery into something. It's going to be a lot. Alright, we got our Lady Archer here. She's winking and just looking. So I'm going to make her winking. We're going to make winky face the forward face. It's a solid reference. I did not remember that episode. Oh, this is cute. It's an archer shooting arrows at targets and apples. It's very apropos. Where's her hair? Oh, there it is. Little bucket. LEGO's done a good job on trying to show more gender representation in their sets. I think they got critique where they were thinking of LEGO sets as neutral, but those neutral were all dudes. So they've been making it much more balanced, at least amongst the binary genders in their sets. And of course, we can do anything we want with the pieces once we get them. I'd say it does. This bodice is cool. I think it does go very well with the skirt. It is something to get used to. I don't know if it's the way I'm leaning forward or just the tightness across my back, but I'm like trying to stretch out the back a little bit here. Oh, I think this is a well. That's clever. There's a bucket for the well. I'll be darned. That is cute. Oh, LEGO. What shall you think of next? It's kind of cute little angled roof they create here, which clips onto the pole here. Now you have kind of a little angled roof top for your well, which is, oh, spun it the wrong way, right here. Huh, that's very cute. So a little well there on the ground floor beside the woodpile, outside our blacksmith, outside the smithy. Now this arm came undone. How double knotted both these, I swear. Okay. Now I feel like this will be interesting. It's cool to see how they do this, but this is why a lot of my trees in my villages are a little bit more straightforward when I add greenery to my buildings, because this kind of stuff is impressively ornate and sometimes kind of exhausting to build and can use up a lot of pieces. So I am, of course, going to do what they say here because it is interesting to learn, but something that is also a bit exhausting to actually build, I think. I don't enjoy it as much as building the building parts. Jeez. Dang. That was tough to push those in. Those aren't coming back out, that's for sure. Right. This is... Well, jeez. So this looks like it's supposed to attach nicely on the outside. It is not actually attaching very nicely on the outside. And I'm getting here in my face. Oh, there we go. All right. Remember when these pieces are like the 1980s video cameras on all of my sets? They were the TV studio cameras everywhere. And now they are complex building components. How the world has matured. Sorry, I'm seeing the Max Rock 20 comment right now. There's a light one to the dark ones. Can't tell. That was to the dark ones. I'm glad this is probably the only tree on this thing, so I would not want to do this multiple times. I don't know why. I shouldn't be as like exasperated by this as I am, but for whatever reason, not the part that I enjoy. Interesting. Goodness. All right. So now, all these leaves are going to be exhausting. I should not like whine about this. Hey, this is the tedious part. Now watch me do it. Um, that's not smart on a couple levels. I'm just trying to be honest though. The parts of building that appeal, the effects of this kind of stuff is amazing. When you do these kinds of details, it definitely is something that polishes a piece, that makes it look amazing. Um, it just, I think it does sometimes require a special set of tolerance to do the repetitive. I was actually talking about this yesterday in a group therapy session. I do a small group with people who are in the early stages of transition, just so we have an avenue to share if we need it, and then talk about our journeys. And it's interesting, I think, to reflect and see other people's paths. Um, but you can also sometimes bring up other things. And I was talking about procrastination, and for me, that's often it can be a big problem when, in particular, it's tied to things that I am not excited to do. I will procrastinate forever in those situations, which I'm cognizant of and I hate, but it doesn't necessarily stop the behavior. Yeah, that takes work. And that this is one of those kinds of things where I know intellectually this kind of thing is amazing. It is the kind of thing that can make your set really stand out if you do it. And I still struggle to spend the time, invest the time to do these kinds of stuff. Uh, and that's, I guess, the difference between a true paid by Lego master builder and posers like me. All right, here's the question. Is this on top? Oh no, it's up there. Okay. Treatious. Sorry, I just saw that. That's fantastic. Good job. Good job. Quality pun. Wait, am I missing something? I'm missing something. Did I miss stuff? Oh, pages stuck together. That would explain it. Like, where did all those extra things come from? All right. Well, at least that was a separate step I did, so it's not like I wasted the effort. Just did it early. Oh. That time of night when my contacts start to go out of focus. I think it's bendable or something? No? Alright. Yellow in the bottom. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that the coming out has helped, I guess, give some of that focus to yeah, to not procrastinate, I guess, on what matters, which is fantastic. I hope to get there. Sometimes I do. Last night I actually got a lot of stuff done. I felt very, very good about that. There's like one last major work thing that I know I need to finish, but I feel better having checked a few other things off my to-do list last night. And I didn't even stay up egregiously late like I usually do in those situations. All right. All right, we're nearing the end. So at least I've done step one. It's not the whole thing, it's a third of the thing, but it's something. And that kind of almost rhymes. And that's all that matters. All right. Step I missed. Done. Why does this look weird? Oh, there's a frog. I forgot to put a little frog on here. A little frog on the tree. And then this swings out that way. That makes sense. Now I can finally add. This will make a pretty cool gnarled tree, a little bit more involved than usual. Oh wow, it slots very neatly over the well there. That's pretty cool. So, try to pre-assemble some of this to make these steps go a little faster. And that's awesome. I'm glad that, well, like you talked about getting your show going. Um, but yeah, take it in steps is the way to do it, right? To break things down and then check them off as you get to them. Here's an apple. Leaves. More leaves. I should do this 4 times? Alright. Alright. I did 4 of these, so I'm trying to set them up. Knock them down here. Oh. So sorry, folks. I know I'm going particularly quiet, but I really do want to finish this step before I stop the stream. So that is my new goal after reducing my prior slightly more ambitious goal to deliver something here, even if it wasn't all the things. It's something, and isn't that what's important? Sure, is the answer. 2. 2. Goodness. And these little leaves on flowers to put onto the stems is definitely one of those parts. Not quite as thrilling for me. We're getting there. I want to make sure I'm not getting so rapid or frustrated with it that I break anything here. One, 2. Goodness. I know this will look cool. I know it will be worth it. Doesn't mean that it was fun along the way, but it will be worth it. Whew. 4 of those little clusters made. Alright, and now we attach them. Apples hanging down. That is the key. Oh, no, it's not. Apples go everywhere. Sorry, I'll move this to the center so you can see. Apple tree has been created. What's a surprising amount of leftover leaves here, which feels a little weird. Did I miss something? I'm gonna just quickly check to make sure I didn't miss anything. Right, 2 per 1, and then that's... Oh, cute. There were supposed to be 2 of these stick-on leaves on each of the clusters, and I missed that. There's always extra pieces, but I knew that was too many extra pieces. Okay, okay, where do those go? No, right there. Ah, I can't believe this is staying together while I do this. Hey, testimony to... Oh, there we go. I jinxed it. It was my fault. I said it, and it happened. Reattach it. Goodness. This is definitely a more delicate and finicky construction than LEGO normally does. Whew. Well, folks, it's not what I sold you. I sold you I'm going to speed build this whole 2,000 piece set. I did not. But I did get to step 90. I did get through the first 5 bags. I think I did probably the most intricate section of it. And so now the first floor is complete. And little bellows. Where are the bellows? Work to get the fire going. So that's something. It's still fun. It's still cool. Even if it's not all of my ambitions, I still had a good time. And I hope you had at least a marginally entertaining time. That's really the threshold I go for. It's marginally entertaining. If I achieve that, then this is a success. So lie to me and tell me that's the case. But hey, this is always still fun. I'm so glad to all of you who stopped by tonight. I really appreciate it. It's so much better when I have other people to do this with and to be able to babble at and share with and spend some time together. It's a fun way to also keep me connected to something I do have such a passion for, but don't always have the time for. Setting aside time to do this with you makes it all worth it. So thank you for coming by. Yeah, I so appreciate it. And this is not the only time. I will be back. I come and do this about once a month. So some point in October. I will need to figure out the right date because I'm going to probably be in Vegas during the time I normally would do my next show. So I will work with the team to find the right next date for me. But I'm not the only builder. There are other builders, and there will be a builder every other week. And so you'll get to see the other folks who contribute to Builders Block if you tune back in. And that would be so wonderful. And not just for the Builders Block show on the Transverse Network, but also for things like the Transistence, where you get the latest news, especially the news affecting the LGBTQ and transgender, nonconforming, and non-binary communities. We have the flagship show, the Transgender Show, where Emily does amazing interviews of folks. So definitely please tune in for that and get the latest shows like that. And there's so many other amazing things that appear in between. We have different guest streamers. We had Jenner Meowster on here for a whole bunch of time before I appeared today, doing some fun creative sharing, game playing, all kinds of different stuff. There's All on the Table, a D&D episode that happens on the weekends. There's lots of great things. So please consider, if you don't already, following and getting to see some of that other great content, as well as, of course, getting to check in with me when I return every month or so. But until that next time, I want you to go out there and I want you to build, I want you to create, I want you to make amazing things, because that's what we get to do. We get to create and build a better, brighter world. And so until then, I have been Jess. You have been awesome. This has been Builder's Block. Have a great night. Bye, everyone. Now I need to find the button to stop streaming. Where's my mouse? There's the mouse. No, I'm actually done.